In any business, there's going to be some customers, whether it's a business to business and the other business is your customer, or the end user, the consumer is your customer. There's always them. Now, as an online reseller, it is usually a little less customer service, but there are still some customer service things that go into a reselling business. So today, let's talk about some of the mistakes that resellers can make with customer service. First up, is there any stories, customer service stories that you have, or nightmares that you've had? The biggest one I feel like is when I've lost inventory and can't find it, which, yeah, that's a mistake. But there's also been some doozies of some customers. I mean, for overall, most of the customers that I have dealt with, knock on wood, have been good. But there have been a few that has, one person, I had a Dickies shirt and they emailed me accusing me. Well, they bought it and then I sent it out and then they accused me of it being a knockoff. And I was like, no. And I even sent in pictures after this to Dickies and was like, is this legit? And they were like, no, yes, it's a legit Dickies shirt. So that was weird. Definitely when I worked retail, because I worked retail in different stores for a long time, there was definitely some people in person can be a lot. Mistake number one that I see is slow or no response to inquiries. This can cost you sales. If someone is interested and they are taking the time to email you about it, more than likely they are very serious about purchasing the item. Now, caveat, I have seen on Poshmark, sometimes people comment like silly things and you're like, what? And it kind of seems like a scam. Not really sure how it works, but overall, I feel like, especially on eBay, if people are asking for additional information, just answer them. If you are out and you can't answer them or you're away and you're not going to be, just like send a quick email saying, hey, I'll check it in a few hours. I'll check it tomorrow. Like just to let them know and acknowledge that, yes, I did receive your email and I will get back to you. By the way, if we are just meeting, hello, my name is Staci. I am an online full-time reseller, been reselling for over 10 years on eBay and Poshmark, a little bit on Mercari and Bonanza, and I am full-time. This is I'm self-employed with this and mostly pre-owned clothing. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming on back. I hope that if you haven't already, you will hit that subscribe button and join me here every Sunday so we can have some reselling chit chats. Number two, being defensive or argumentative. This is, I know it's tempting, and especially when you're sitting behind a keyboard and you're not face to face with that person, but we are the business owners. And as much as you want to, maybe go off on a seller or a buyer if they're like being crazy, just take it down and try to combat the situation. I at one time had somebody who emailed me and was kind of rude from the start, saying that I sent them the wrong item, that this isn't it at all. I think that was, and was just going off like, this is unacceptable. Just right away, I'm going to contact eBay because you are so unprofessional. You lied, like on and on and on. And then I responded back. And she was defensive, but I didn't get defensive back. I said, I'm so sorry that you're unhappy with your purchase. Can you send me a photo of, and I think it was, I might have it mixed up. It was a dress. I think it was a dress that she bought. I was like, can you send me a picture of the dress you received? And she responded back, still defensive, like, you didn't send me a dress, you sent me a skirt and it was the wrong, like going on and on about this wrong skirt. So I look and I'm like, no, I check her order, it's a dress. And then we kind of went back and forth and I was like, I am showing that you ordered from me, you ordered this dress. Because she kept going on about how the skirt was not the right one, that it was a different pattern, and that it just was completely different. So I said, can you just check all your orders? Because maybe you ordered more than one thing from different sellers, and I am showing that I shipped you ordered from me a dress, and I gave, the information. So maybe the skirt is from a different seller on eBay. I never got defensive, and it was like, you don't know what you're talking about, and maybe you should keep track of what you're ordering. But just being nice like that. And she came back and she was like, oh, I am so sorry. It is a different seller. I apologize. Where if I would have got defensive back, that could have escalated. But it was just a simple mistake. So just, being nice, acknowledging it. If their package is lost or it's taking a slow time, yes, it's the post office, but they're going to come to us. And they're going to probably blame us. So you just want to reiterate, like, I'm so sorry, it's taking a while. Instead of being like, well, it's the post office fault. It's not my fault. Why are you asking me? I shipped it. I'm sorry. I am tracking it. Maybe if I need to contact the post office, I will, to see if they can give me any further information on it. Just to make them know that you see them, you hear them, and just try to be human and take the emotion out of it. Negative feedback. Okay, there's a couple caveats with this. So number one, try not to get too hung up on the negative feedback. It's going to happen. Nobody, no store can get perfect, can make everyone happy. It's just not possible. You cannot please everyone. I've gotten negative feedback before on that something took too long to get there, even though I shipped it out right away. So sometimes it isn't personal against the item. I've had, it seemed like something electronic and it worked, but they didn't like how it sounded. Well, that's nothing against me selling the item or me as a seller. It was on the item itself, and I know what it was. Yes, it was a Fisher-Price record player. Okay, it's a toy record player. But they left a negative feedback, and they obviously expected the sound quality to be like a record player, but it was a toy. So in that case, it wasn't personal on me, but they, you know what I mean? So you can't take it personal, but also addressing that. Now, sometimes you just can't make them happy, but sometimes if, let's say, for example, I had a negative feedback because the item was late. Now, she didn't contact me first or anything, so I messaged her and I was like, I've contacted the post office and they said it should be a few more days. I do see that it is running late, so I will keep track of it. Now, sometimes I've had where they'll go in and they'll change their negative feedback. She didn't, and it's okay. But I did acknowledge, even though she didn't message me, she just left it on the negative feedback. I did acknowledge that I'm so sorry for the inconvenience, or, so if you can, maybe just reach out, say, I'm so sorry. Is there anything that I can do to make this right? Sometimes you can't, but at least, again, you're acknowledging. People just want to be acknowledged. People just want to be heard. Mistake number 4 is not having clear policies. Now, back in the day, it used to be like in the description box, you'd write, policies or some, like you'd write about if you offered free shipping or return, like all that stuff. I don't find that's necessary, but making sure, like, in my opinion, if you offer free shipping, maybe you want to, don't just do it on like 1 or 2 items, because then that could confuse people. You want to make sure that you have, if you make a return, if you take returns or not. And yes, people sometimes are not going to read it, but I've had people where they come back and they're like, oh, this doesn't fit and I want to return it. I just politely let them know, as in the listing, my policy, because I'm saying as in the listing, not because I have it in the description, but the settings, that I don't accept free returns, so you will have to pay shipping back. And they ended up keeping it. And I got a negative review, but it's okay. Mistake number 5 is not going the extra mile. Now, this isn't a make or break, I don't feel like, for your business, but I feel like adding a little extra can make a difference. Now, some people I know, especially on Posh when it first came out, were, trying to make every package pretty with tissue paper and a ribbon. I don't go that far, but I do, instead of just throwing it in a box, I do put tissue paper around it. I may put it in the clear poly and fold it over and put a thank you sticker on it. Put a thank you card or a business card in it. Just that little something can make a huge difference. If I have a person, let's say on Poshmark, that bought multiple things, I put each one in a clear poly bag and then put that in, put tissue paper around it, and tape it with a business card or a thank you card. I kind of go with the mindset on Poshmark, since it's just a flat priority rate. I will do maybe a business card or a thank you card that I've printed through Vistaprint on there, since the weight doesn't matter. If I'm shipping it on eBay, depending on what it is, it will be either a thank you sticker. If it's a high price item, I don't have too many of them, or I've gone back and forth with a person and they've said it's for a gift or something, maybe then I'll write a hand, wrote thank you note and like, enjoy this for the party or whatever. So just trying to at least not just throwing it in a box, and thinking about, if you are putting it in a box, you don't want it this is kind of a shipping mistake, but you don't want it too close to the top of the box without like tissue paper or something, because you don't want them to cut it and then cut the item, that kind of thing. But that little thing, just think about how when you receive things, what difference it makes if something is received nice or if it's just crammed into a poly mailer. Mistake number 6 is communication, not having communication with your buyer. No, you don't need to email them saying, oh, thank you for your order, but like the tracking, maybe I wouldn't have got that negative review if before that, if I would have been going through, which I try to do, but sometimes I miss it, going through and seeing like, ooh, this is going to be late, and emailing her preemptively saying like, hey, I am checking the tracking and it seems like it's stuck in one of the post offices or sorting facility, but I am tracking it. So just to let them know if there's going to be any delays. I know that you can send customers or coupons to customers in the past. That is on my list to try that out and see if I can get any traction with that. If you have tried that, please let me know if you've seen success in getting repeat buyers. Especially if you're a reseller that does pre-owned clothing and is more like one-offs, let me know if you think it's worth it. I think a lot of people think of customer service as more if you are in a customer service like call center, or if you're working in a retail store, dealing with face-to-face person. But we do have to keep in mind, we are a business, we are reselling. Even if it's not a full-time business for you, you do have customers, and there should be some level of customer service that we are doing as well. So I hope that this video was helpful. If it was, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment down below. If you don't know what to say, just put in the comments customer service, and it does help the algorithm push this video out. Share it if you know of any resellers you think that this would be helpful to. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the comments and next week. Bye.